And welcome back to a brisk, snowy day on Total War Rome 2. Ellington here, and we have got ourselves a 3 versus 3, including the mighty Rome. For the attackers today, we have got Rome being commanded by Jimmy Page. We've got Bactria being commanded by Jacob. And finally, the person who sent this in, we have got Galatia being commanded by Uchiha Madara. For the defenders, we've got Seleucid being commanded by Bill Clinton's black son, I think is what it is. We've got Egypt being commanded by Ace of Lions. And finally, Macedon being commanded by J Money. This is taking place on the settlement of Ailden, however you say the name of this place. I'm not sure, and I'm bad at names. I apologize. But this is it's a relatively common settlement. You know, usually you get this standard attack on this kind of area here. You can see Bactria pushing this long, straight wall, you know, on the flank here. The point on this map is back here by this Stonehenge structure thing. This is the main cap point. So typically, you know, from this way, this is your closest way in. There is a way back around here. And, you know, for like Bactria, you can go the long way all the way around here. Usually this is kind of a last resort thing. It's not something you see a whole lot. We do have some fireballs on the field here today. I'm not sure that this is where I would put them, though. Like, if I'm going to bring fireballs, I mean, they've got some already. Yeah, put them right here on that slope. Or you put some back here on this slope. That's, you know, you can see they already did put some. I'm not sure that this little tiny... You know, this tiny little hill right here is really not much. It's honestly half likely to roll back into your own units. We've got the Galatian Levy Freeman trying to burn down a tower here. And then they did break down a breach on the left-hand flank here. Galatia did. We still in the back here have some legionary cavalry and Société Extraordinaire from Rome, as well as his ballista, who has 2 kills. Looks like he lost a piece. He must have gotten sniped by somebody. I'm not sure who would have been able to shoot him, though. Well, it is what it is. So Rome, honestly, getting a free pass onto the walls right here. I'm a little intrigued by this because Rome's going to be tough, right? We all know the strength of Rome and their infantry, so giving them a free pass onto the wall to fight you man-to-man is kind of risky, in my opinion. We do have some thorough spears getting some good shots in on the flank of the legionary cohort here. And now we've got a swap out coming, some Principes coming in instead. We do have layered up here, too, a unit of Legionaries and Principes. Honestly, that's a pretty good target right there for those thorough spears. I'm pretty sure they can reach that. You can see the Thorax getting some shots in on them. Now on the right, you can see Bactria is all in. Look at this. No, like, nothing stopping them. You know, you got these couple Macedonian units out in the middle of no man's land, really not defending a whole lot. You've got a militia hoplite and a thorough spear. And you've got all this room for these units to come in and wipe them out. Got some thorough spears and thorax swords here, as well as more troops behind. More thorough spears from Egypt and some Galatian swordsmen. Principes at 65 kills already. 48 on the other one. Legionaries here are going to break at 59, though. Right around 60. Got tons of Galatia. Galatia really hasn't even got engaged yet. You know, they have their open here, and they've got a tower here. They had brought some archers forward, but they got to be careful because they got a unit of hillmen coming to threaten them. Bactry and hillmen coming all the way over to the flank, maybe to capture the tower, I guess. But yeah, you can see like the Macedonian units and stuff kind of, I mean, they're trying to fall back now, but they're kind of already engaged, right? Thorax swords, dry fire. You notice they made the motion to throw their javies, but they didn't actually throw them. Are the throw spears going to make it out? It looks like it. You can see Bactria deciding not to pursue that yet. They do have more reinforcements sitting here waiting for them, so. Galatia swarming in. We got one Galatian legionary in already. Nothing guarding that flank yet. You have a Levy Freeman threatening here, but I mean, it's really not that big of a threat. It's a Levy Freeman. And maybe Rome gonna shift some units over this way too. Rome, I mean, really trying to push his way through that area. And as of right now, they have decided to kind of take it slow on the right flank here. Not deciding to go into combat quite yet. Hillmen are going to break. The Galatian Legionary is now 66 kills. We've got throw spears. Man, Macedon with a lot of throw spears. That means a lot of javies, but it also means that not the best combat capabilities. So we'll see how that works out. You know, Macedon is one of those factions, they're really expensive. You know, for your infantry, you've got Royal Peltis, Shield Bearers. You've got Mercenary Thracians that you can only bring like 3 of. And then you have Thorax Swords that are 710 gold. You really don't have like a low tier unit that's very good. So it makes them pretty expensive. Even throw spears are like 460. Levy Freeman are about to break here. We got some hillmen and Galatian swords. Praetorians coming in now. Not the Praetorian Guard, but the regular Praetorians. They're the cheaper ones. They're like 20 gold cheaper. On the far left, you see that Galatia did actually send a Galatian legionary over here, engaging with another hillman. Over on the far right, they're still just taking their time. I think they realize they don't really need to push too hard. On the hill here, we've got 3 units of Egyptian archers. Problem with that is they are all 125 range archers, meaning that they honestly will probably struggle a little bit hitting this alleyway or street here, while a 150 range archer can make that street a very painful thing for the attackers. Glacial Legionnaires already had 94 kills with only loss of 7, but it's Hillmen. You know what I mean? You can see with 96 kills, they've barely even scratched the experience bar that they need for like a chevron. Principes, 118, 147 did I see? Or that's a Legionary cohort? Still got a depleted Galatian sword here, 36 men left. Bactria maybe considering bringing some units to the left. Bactria also bringing his archers, so we got the Persian light archers. I honestly, like, bring the Syrians, man. They're just way better. The armor for the Persian lights is only 10, which means if they get shot, they are gonzo. We've got light cavalry here from Seleucid. Watch out, Galatia. You've got your Celtic Slinger all the way out here. He sees a chance to maybe shoot this, but he doesn't see the cavalry. Now he does. There's no cav anywhere nearby. The Roman cavalry way back in the back. If I was the Rome, I'd be keeping my cavalry like screened out here, you know, for exact instances like this. You know, I get you're trying to protect your artillery, but you also want to protect your flanks. You know what I mean? even this close, a cav can get in and get into these things before you may notice. Bactria getting in on this. Rome has finally broken through. We've got the Galatian swords here from Egypt. Problem is that now this is becoming a just bad situation for the defenders. They can't defend this anymore because they'll get attacked right here. You know, they have no unit guarding this flank. So now we got Thorax Pikes in a spot that's probably a bit big for this unit to be in. You know, you really want your Thorax Pike in as tight of a spot as you can, so probably right here would be your best bet. Here, that unit's only going to cover about that much. Then you have to cover the rest with another unit, and what are the attackers just going to do? They'll just go after this unit and ignore this pike that you have set up. Here, your pike is just in a bad place. The attackers can go this way around them, or they can go this way around them. Either way, what's going to happen is you'll get an attacked in the side penalty that hurts. More artillery coming in. Is that the Galatian or the Roman? I think that was the Galatian. Yep. He's got 7 kills on his. You can see Sluka just decided he's given that spot up. He said, nope, we're done. Same thing, they're shifting back this way. Got the archers from Mastodon moving forward. On the right-hand side, still really not a whole lot of anything going on. You can see Bactria has come in and kind of taken this area. They have gone and hit this, but not yet gone for this. The Persian Lights should be able to take on the Egyptian archers. If they had the mercenary Syrians, they would obliterate these pretty simply. You know, I would suggest bringing 3 mercenary Syrians and like 1 Persian light archer or something like that. Still got a Galatian sword here, 98 kills out of 98 men out of 160. What is the range of that artillery? I think the problem they've got is they're running out of range for it. See? And that seems to be the problem. The 2 ranges are right in here, and that means now their artilleries are kaput. So unfortunately, that's 1,400 gold that probably has quite a bit of ammo left. You know, he's only got 24 kills. He only has 2. So I highly suspect that they have quite a bit of ammo left. And unfortunately, at this point in time, are not going to be able to use it. They have not decided to use their fireballs yet. I wonder if Rome just noticed the fireballs and that's why he's getting out of there. You would not want to drop these fireballs right now because they will kill your Thorax Pikes. I don't know what Rome is doing. Well, 1, he's using formation attack. 2, I don't know why he's in this column formation. Using formation attack is why, you know, more of these units should have eventually joined into this attack, but they haven't. You notice they keep that column really nicely. That means he's using formation attack. 33 kills on the Greek Scorpion. Nicely done. It does look like they are putting their faith right now into the frontal assault. You got to remember they do only have 2 of these fireballs, so they can only do so much. But if they use them wisely and the attackers are not smart about how they advance up this hill, that could turn into a big problem. Archers focusing the Thorax Pikes. That's exactly what anybody should do when you see the pike. Egypt maybe trying to adjust forward to get in a shot against these. I'm not sure. Carrying Axeman General throwing their jabbies into, I believe. Why are the auxiliary Syrian archers in combat, Rome? Why are you in combat with the pikes, Rome? What are we doing? 14 kills. Syrians with only 14 kills. Ay, ay, ay. 116. He's got some Velites. More Velites. Did he go 2 and 2? 2 Velites, 2 auxiliary Syrians? It's definitely not what I would have done. So this Thorax Pike is at 135. I believe that was a Seleucid Thorax Pike that they killed over here. Now you got to be careful. What I would do, honestly, I would light them myself. I would take this unit right here, this tiny little unit, and I would go light those fireballs. Just to get rid of them. You know, move that unit out of the way, light the fireballs, and guess what? Those fireballs are actually likely to do this right here. Right through the Seleucid and Egypt units here. Persian Light Archer, 78 kills, 46 kills. Got more coming up here, and they've got a great shot. Look at this. Beautiful shot right there. Apparently nobody's going to light the fireballs. There it is. I told you. Oh, even better than what I said. Instead of doing this, which is bad for the attackers, it went right through the defending lines here. Hit it again. Just do it. I think it's 100% worth it for Bactria to activate those fireballs right now. I don't think the defenders will because of what they just saw happen. They know that these fireballs are not going to help them. So, attackers use them. Probably the better place for the defenders to put them probably would have been somewhere up here or something like that, so that as the attackers made their way in, they could activate them down the hill like this. Right? I think they just have decided they're not doing it, right? They still have a couple units over here, but in the end, they definitely do not have the kind of units that say, I'm going to push this flank. You know, so I don't really get... there's probably not even a point to have these here. Just move these guys back with the rest of your army. Bactrian Hillmen can probably come inside. Thorough Spears can come inside. I think they might have used... Can't tell. Like, there's a couple of them are missing. I don't know. I think they used one. I think they did activate it. They could probably do it again for the other 2 balls. No balls. Thorax Swords, 26 kills, and it's pretty beat up, 95 out of 160. Did I say Thorough Spears? They're Thorax Swords. These are Thorough Spears. Galatian Swords going in. Galatia pushing towards the back here. We've got Levy Freeman and Galatia Swords coming in. And all we've got back here, 2 Thorax Swords. So bring some Galatian Legionaries over here. I would say put that pressure on them. What might do is force Macedon to come back to the point. Macedon's units, he's got all of his units over this way, or a bunch of them at least. Thorax Sword. Where's the Macedonian General? That's one we have not seen yet. He must be hiding somewhere over here. There's the light cavalry coming in, going to hit the Galatian Swords. This whole center area has kind of been a little bit of a mosh pit. Auxiliary and Syrian archers coming in. They've got 149 kills. They have their swords out. Their daggers is probably more accurate. And that Scorpion actually has a pretty solid shot up onto that hilltop. There we go. Look at this. Rome, he's got a sneaky, sneaky spot. Grease on through, boys. Grease on through. Macedon trying to kind of plug that gap. Ow. Look at the Thorough Spears just get obliterated by the Assyrian, or the Lights. Persian Light Archers, 178, 106, and they've got just a beautiful shot here. Oh, that's got to hurt. They were going to go into combat, but all of a sudden turned around. Macedon's got to bring his units back, man. All this stuff, anything over here needs to not be over here anymore. They are under severe threat to their point, which is, aka, win or lose right here. And they have units basically defending stuff that isn't worth anything right now. There's the Macedonian general. He's got a Royal Peltis gen, Levy Pikes, and Foot Companions. Foot Companions are very, very underrated pikes, but because they have a 49 melee attack, which is really good for a pike unit. So if you compare that to a Levy Pikeman, which is not a very good pike, 30 to 49. I don't think they have the thorax left. Yep, there we go. 39 to 49. That's the difference between a thorax pike, which is a solid pike, and a foot companion pike for Macedon. The downside to them is their armor. Their armor's only 70. So it's something that you probably want to hold on to them as long as humanly possible to then use them in a place where there's less archers and pew-pews and javies and rocks and all that nasty stuff that pikes don't like. Man, that Scorpion is really, look at that, 132 now. The last time we looked, he had 39. On the far right, we've got Royal Peltis taking on some Galatian Legionaries, got the light cap. But once again, for me, I don't see why we defend this when this is a big threat. This is a big problem right now. They have stemmed the flow. So they've kind of like stopped it for a minute. So, maybe they can hold it a little bit here. But these 3 units here would be pretty useful back at that really dangerous point there. Royal Peltis, 34 kills. Thorax Swords, 198. 126. But they're taking on Galatian Legionaries, which are very, very good units. Arguably the best mid-tier in the game. Royal Peltis is a unit that is very good with another unit in support of it. And they don't have a unit in support of it, which it kind of sucks, Royal Peltis, you being able to kind of keep them focused in where they need to be is where they excel, but it helps to have another unit set up right next to them to guard that flank so that the Royal Peltis can focus fully on that frontal attack. Galatian Swords, Thorax Swords coming over to assist, so they're pulling more units away from their cap point to go defend a place that doesn't need to be defended. Their cap point is neutralized. That's how close they are at this point. That means that the attackers are on this point. That's dangerous. That's bad. You don't want that. So I would not at all be committing more units to this. They might be able to get it overwhelmed, possibly. Maybe overwhelm this, get rid of it. Maybe they could even counterattack if they are able to overwhelm it quick enough. But it's risky. It's risky. The attackers are right on your doorstep. Thorax Swords, 26. That Thorax Pike. I think this is actually a second Egyptian Thorax Pike. So I doubt that one that we saw earlier would still be here with basically the same amount of men. It would have lost men here and there. So I'm pretty positive this is a different one. As you can see, he's getting shot. I believe that's the Persian Lights down here. We got 198, or 196, 128. More troops from the attackers being committed to the left-hand side. More units from the defenders being committed to it. Sorry, I didn't mean to move my mouse like that. Syrian heavy archers, where have these guys been? 49 and 65, so they've seen some sort of combat. Cavalry, I guess, moving in. I don't really know what they're going to do with it. That's a lot of cavalry to bring on attack. I'm personally not a fan. The attacker's doing a really good job here at just basically attack where the pikes aren't, right? Got a pike here, so they attack here. They've got a pike here, so they really aren't. They're just kind of attacking this spot. They may end up having to pull off of this because the thorax pike just went in there. A little bit of a surround here by some thorax swords. Not sure why Macedon's using fire arrows. None of their morales are really that low for it to have much of an effect. It might break something like this guy here, but I'm not sure that that's really worth it. It's honestly, it's affecting their troops too. Carrying axemen, I'm pretty sure are out of ammo. And those 2 chevrons, I almost guarantee were bought. They weren't earned in the battle. Defenders are solidifying this. They are kind of keeping this side for them. And honestly, I don't think the attackers want to commit more to this. So maybe this, commitment over here may have worked in their favor. If they can kick all of the attackers off of this area, they can recap the point. Right now it's neutralized. Nobody owns it. That's why it's white. See that? Got the Bactrian Royal Guard here, which is a pretty good heavy spear unit, right? And they're just sitting on that line, keeping it neutralized. You also have some legionaries from Rome helping them out. With the legionaries from Rome, you might, consider shifting to the right and kind of attacking like that. Here, I would get right into that general immediately. I think this is where things start falling apart for the defenders. Because right now, all that's right here is this carrying axeman gen. You got the Galatian legionaries hitting this. But once this is gone, they can just flood in and sweep in here. More fire arrows. Once again, probably not worth it. The Roman general getting beat up. Look at this. 9 kills. Wonder what he got hit by. Carrying axeman is falling back, but look at this. You got thorough spears from Bactria that have shifted behind. Shift around. There we go. A good job by the attackers here, just playing to avoid those pikes. Doing a really good job with that. The foot companion pike has been delegated to the back of the, cap point here. Where are the Bactria's Scorpions at? 146 kills. He seems to be out. Throw spears that seem to be out of ammunition. Levy pikes have broken. Another thorax sword moving forward. You see the carrying axeman having to shift over to the right. But once again, the carrying axeman, kind of like the thorough spears, not a very good combat unit. They've got a lot of javies and they're cheap, but mano a mano, they're probably not as good as a thorough spear. Sorry about that. I had to get a drink. This Roman cavalry has gotten back here and started to become a nuisance. This is the Socius Equite Extraordinari. Such a long word name, whatever you want to call it. 37 out of 80, so it looks like they took some losses right here. Foot companions turning to face the real threat. And here we go. We're running out of troops, right? Now your back end is just wide open. You've got all this over here that you could shift to defend this back end and help defend the point, but they're not. Carrying Axeman 61 kills, Thorough Spears 110. It's just a mosh pit over here. It's kind of hard to see what the hell's going on. Foot Companions are now in, so once again, they're going to have to be choosy about how they come in here. $41 kills, 25 kills. There we go. They are moving their troops back. Royal Peltis, Thorax Swords, all their Syrian archers. They're leaving some cheap, some small depleting units. I don't mind that. They're pretty small, right? I don't know how big of an impact they would have over here. Balance power is actually pretty even. Foot Companions, they're probably going to avoid them like the plague, would be my guess. Because trust me, if you walk into this Foot Companion, you will die. Worse than most other pikes will you die. Galatian Legionaries, 129 to 160. They got 91 kills? Yeah. Just such a, like, crazy mosh pit area, dude. And they're getting snuck by. Galatian Legionaries sneaking right through, getting into the Macedonian archers. Not only that, if they wanted to, they could then turn into the flank of the pikes and do some real damage. Or turn into this to help break this area here. Everything's set up pretty much on the other side. Egyptian general starting to break, but you got the Macedonian general in over on this side, 83 kills. Really the only thing that's kind of holding the center is this pike. The fact that the attackers will not go fight it. He advanced a little bit forward. They've got 34. Look at that. Look at that. He's got into combat on some of these Bactrian Thorax Swords and Velites, and he's racking up 47 kills now. He's lost some men. He's at 129 out of 160. Getting shot now. I cannot believe they still have ammunition. Mercenary Syrians have targeted him. Let's see how many they lose here. Oh my gosh. They were just at 121. Now they're at 110. But I hate to say they're about to get collapsed on, but from their right-hand side. 99 kills. Oof. Like I said, it all came down to how much ammo they had. If the attackers had very little ammo, this Foot Companion would be doing a lot of work. But they have ammo, and so he's just dying. What he might be, if he shifted over this way to hold the left flank, it might get him out of that range of those archers. So what you do is you basically just shift your focus, right? You put your pike over here, then move anything else to the center. I believe they just brought everything back. Looks like even those small units they brought back now. Thorax Swords. Look at that, 270 with one chevron. 251 on the Galatian Legionaries with one chevron. Here comes more Galatian Legionaries around the back end. Get ready to set your fireballs. Fireball. Thorax Sword 75, 127. Unfortunately, this is beginning to not go well at all. If they lose one more general, they're probably going to hit army losses. They may still hit army losses even if they don't lose the general. A lot of their units, as Hellenic factions, they are, for the most part, going to be disciplined, so it doesn't have a huge effect. But, you know, once you get whittled down to this last little bit of the game, it's pretty hard, you know. I'm actually a little surprised that army losses hasn't started to show up here. All we got is, you know, friends routing, attacked in the rear. Got the Noble Horse General of Galatia now into this. Royal Peltis Gen for Macedon, 193 kills. And I think we can pretty well just know that this is going to be an attacker victory. You know, once again, I think it comes down, I think some mistakes were made on, you know, how long it took them to bring their troops back to the center to help defend that center area. How much time they put into this and troops. Same thing over here. They left a lot of units over here for a long time, basically doing nothing. Let's look at some kills here. Starting off for the attackers, we've got Jacob as Bactria, 2,285 kills. Pretty much across the board, just doing pretty well. 243 on one of the Thorax Swords. Thorough Spears doing pretty solid. We've got Jimmy Page as Rome with 2,092 kills. It's Rome, guys. 390 on a Praetorian, right? 268 on a Principe. It's Rome. That's all you got to know. Uchiha Madara as Galatia, 2,722, leading the whole game. Arch is doing excellent. His Cav doing very well. And then Galatia coming in and doing Galatia things. 407 kills, 259, 257. Very, very well done. For the defenders, we've got Seleucid being commanded by Bill Clinton's Black Sun. We've got 155 on the Royal Peltis Gen. Archers all did pretty solid. His infantry, some did pretty good, some not. You know, it's a lot of Hillmen. Hillmen are not the greatest unit on the planet. You might, you know, be better off sacking 2 of those for maybe another Thorax, depending on what you had money-wise. Ace of Lions as Egypt, 1262. Unfortunately, just not having a great time here. Bringing 4 pikes to the game. I didn't even realize. I only saw the 2, but I must have just missed, or, you know, in the big mosh pit, right? You know, just 4 pikes. Yeah, that's something. J Money as Macedon with 1,628 kills. Very small army. This is a typical Macedon army. Super small. Archers, they did okay. I probably would have brought the Cretans. 106 on the foot companions. Pretty good in the end. 90 on a levy pike. I mean, you know, it's something. Well, that is going to be it for today's battle. Thank you guys so much for joining. Don't forget that if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We will see you guys next time.